Okay, so we're back. We just took a little bit of break again. A little bit of a break. Um, so we've been discussing things, specifically our characters and the things that we've done in our roleplay communities. That's the other thing that we've done in Second Life is roleplay. Many people like to do roleplay, and while it's not our cup of tea really anymore, it's something that we didn't really like role playing. We enjoyed it in the sense that we were able to express our stories and share them with others. But in terms of Second Life, role play has become, I guess, like a dying fad. There are many strong communities out there that still exist, but I'll say that many of them are dying, kind of fading away. But mainly because of the fact that the idea of superheroes in Second Life are fading away. And we don't think that's good, because superheroes in Second Life have been kind of a staple. It's since the beginning of the virtual world. I mean, you can create any avatar you want in Second Life, and yet people don't immediately think of superheroes. I mean, this is something that we immediately thought of when we created our accounts. I know that when I first joined, I joined as Superman. That was my favorite character, and I just had to create a Superman avatar. And I flew around. Like, you could fly in Second Life. Of course, Superman was the avatar. And then we created many others, like the Flash and other characters that we're fans of. But, you know, we got tired of it because of the fact that it wasn't really capturing the stories that we were hoping to tell. Stories of heroism and faith and overcoming challenges and different ideals of hope. And, you know, the idea of knowing where your power comes from and what the responsibility is of using it. What would you have to say?
The main problem with the role play is that when you're role playing a character you didn't create, when it's not yours and it's something that belongs to another creator, you know, DC Comics, Marvel Comics, they basically you sort of have this remaining detachment that basically nothing you're doing actually exists. It doesn't
matter.
It doesn't matter because at no point are you actually creating something with that character. Instead, you're just make-believing. It's fan fiction, not actual
there's
storytelling. They don't view it as that. It's just role-play.
And, you know, there's nothing wrong with fan fiction. It's just that it's a waste of time for us because we're trying to create our own fictional universe of superheroes and supervillains and, you know, stories of heroism and all that. And we can't create our own stories if we're fixated, mostly me, fixated on DC or Marvel character fan fiction and fan stories. And, you know, we tried doing the role play with our own characters, and it was briefly successful. And, you know, there are people still trying to do role play in our community, and we welcome it. They can do the role play as they wish. But when it comes to the actual roleplay, it's not something that we enjoy doing. We prefer writing. We enjoy telling stories of our own. We prefer creating content that we can enjoy creating and sharing with others, and from our perspective. When it comes to roleplay, you have to welcome the perspective of others that are trying to force their ideas for their characters on you. And we don't want to be rude. We like the other people creating their own characters. And we like them to join our sim and join our community and share their artwork, share their characters, if it's original. But if you have the issue that we had that we kept running into, everyone wanted to create what kind of characters, man? What kind of characters do they try to create all the time?
Always Batman.
Batman.
Always Batman, and again Batman. Once more with the Batman.
Batman. It's like, I get it. I mean, Batman is pretty cool. He's a character that is dark, has a very intense history, a very intense story, but he's a lunatic. And, you know, that might be an unpopular opinion, but that's just our perspective. He's a lunatic who dresses up as a bat, and yeah, he has a lot of money.
And with that money, he uses it to beat up on the poor, which is just appalling.
It's like, granted, these are criminals. Some of them are just people, though, who have mental issues. And, you know, mental issues seem to be the biggest topic of the world today, so I'm wondering why Batman is such a big focus. But, you know, that's beside the point. When it comes to our characters, we want to create our own stories that focus more on heroism, crazed lunatics who are bad guys that you cannot like. And while we have some that are seemingly likable in their demeanor.
Pure Dumas.
And don't forget Sway.
Yes.
It's like I can't wait for y'all to read about those characters. I mean, those are going to be ridiculous.
Sway was based off of the one actor. I forgot his name.
There was a movie called Mr. Right. Mr. Right had one of the best storylines, and his look, a lot of his look is inspired by him. And his demeanor is somewhat inspired by Sam Rockwell, the actor, and the characters that he plays. But, not all of him, mind you. We still have some features of him, features that we wanted to implement on our own storyline idea. His character-wise, he's a different person. And he is not Sam Rockwell. I mean, he's a great actor and all, but we have our own character. But we based his appearance somewhat off of him, but not entirely. We still have our own ideas for him. And then we have Velocity and all that, and how he'll deal with him as well. I mean, you got a speedster versus a guy who literally... Well, we can't spoil everything, so you'll find out what his powers are in the comics.
As for Pure Dumas, that character I mentioned, he is a sorcerer who has a lot of shortcomings. And those shortcomings...
To say the least.
do not look kindly on him in the future, and they always you'll see in the comics he doesn't have things don't go according to plan for him.
Yeah, let's just say this, he becoming a sorcerer in the modern era doesn't work well, and let's just say that he's going to have a lot of issues, and it's going to be a lot of fun just to show how this character is going to be dealt with when it comes to heroes facing him. It's kind of a sad character, but you're not going to like him.
At least that's what we thought, or we think that you are
not going to like him. We hope that you don't like him, because you're not supposed to like the villain. The villain is supposed to be despicable. He's not supposed to be like, you're not supposed to see eye to eye with him. If you do, I'm worried for you. But anyway, we wanted to focus less on some of the issues that people keep seeing in comic books today. Everyone keeps seeing in comic books a huge lean towards sexuality, gender politics, race issues, and things like that. And while granted, for some people those are issues that are important, for us they're not important for our comic books. Our comic books are supposed to be focused on fantasy, sci-fi, escapism, just telling a fun story of superheroes beating up bad guys, saving lives, and helping bad guys also overcome their darkness, inspiring them into the light. How can a hero be a hero if they let the bad guy stay bad? Now that's not going to happen for all of our bad guys, all of our villains. Some of them are going to remain that way because they're stubborn. That's one of the main reasons why people become evil, is pride and stubbornness. Now, we also want to discuss some of the issues of our characters and where their powers come from. You see, our characters vary for different things. Like, we have aliens, we have elves, we have demons, we have sorcerers, we have people who are kind of mutations that we call we call them exohumans. Exohumans are basically humans who have been experimented on. They've essentially been given unique abilities through experimentation, and sometimes they combine sorcery with experimentation. But more importantly, we have the heroes, the main ones, who are our focal point, the ones that we've been speaking about the most: Velocity, Nexus, and many others. Basically, these characters get their power from Elyon, and he is essentially the creator of all life, all things. And so when he gave these people unique abilities, he calls them his elite, or his elect, but we call them the elite. And basically, the elite were called from many places. Some of them are given their abilities at birth. Some of them are given their abilities in a time of peril, when things are overwhelming and suddenly their gift is activated within them. And then there's some who are caught in a crossfire. Those in particular are the most interesting because of the fact that they are forced to basically summon that power within them. that power awakens because of the need. The need is so strong that their spirit man knows, like the essence within them, they know what their power is, and then it manifests. Sometimes it manifests in a not so pretty light, depending on what their state in their mind is at the moment. But generally, these abilities are supernatural. They're not normal. Some of them it affects their biology, but for the most part, they are supernatural beings, sent ones. They are special. They were born unique. And then you have how they're going to use these abilities. Some of them turn evil. Some of them stay good.
One thing that we want to do is to separate our work from DC and Marvel and sort of really just create something original. And that is how their powers work are entirely different from other comics based on the fact that they cannot be estimated. This can give off the vibe that they are extremely powerful, way too overpowered. But the thing is,
it's good.
It's good, and also it looks cool that way. But the thing is, it doesn't work out in their favor all the time.
Yeah, and sometimes it creates accidents,
and other times it's just they don't know how to use that power. So they use it according to the time they need it.
Exactly.
Just like all our characters, they use their powers according to when they need it, not whenever they want to, but when they need to.
And there's some, like Velocity, who will eventually, it'll become so second nature that basically it is common, it is normal for them, but it's still supernatural. It's still his source and portion. The power that he has comes from the Creator, from God.
So there's really just no science to it. There's no science to
it's completely
any
detached.
Of our characters. It's nonsensical. It's faith based. It's not. It's a spiritual thing, not a thing that is just science. Something that can explain through chemicals and numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah, we have other characters that are like that, but those are called exohumans.
Yeah.
And their pain is a lot. Because of the fact that they're given power that's not meant to be theirs, they struggle with pain.
Just like how, like in real life, if you try giving someone superpowers, dump them in a vat of toxic waste, they mutate. They mutate, or most likely just not going to have powers. Or if hard water dips on their skin, they're not going to...
They're just going to die.
They're just going to die, or just suffer something equally worse.
A disfigurement of some sort.
And that's also where the magic comes in, so that they can actually survive the ordeal. But the thing is, it's
not common.
It's not living either. It's
and then you have
misery.
And then you have cybernetic enhancements like nanotech and things like that. We don't have a lot of characters like that.
All these concepts are things that, if they came to pass in real life, they wouldn't really be successful. They wouldn't be as grand as Superman and Batman and all that. It would be a very nightmarish scenario.
It would be very uncommon, and it'd be very unlikely for them to be heroes. In fact, many of them would just be people who struggle not to become villains. And the ones who do become villains are going to be very successful at that, because it's easy to be bad. It's not difficult to be a villain. But being a hero, that's the difficult part, especially if you're suffering through pain. And, our multiverse, that's another thing we want to speak about, is our multiverse is not simply a smattering of universes just thrown together, all with different art styles. Our multiverse has many facets to it and different archetypes, but it's not really a convoluted mess. Each universe has a different purpose. Each world, each Earth, and it's literally a whole universe multiplied. And so basically every time a new universe is spawned, it's because of the choices of the main Earth. And basically that main Earth deviates and creates another one. But that Earth is so different that you almost can't recognize it from the other. And then there's the fact that these universes, although they have no effect on the main Earth, the purpose behind each one is significant. Like, they're not going to serve no purpose. They will have a purpose on each Earth. The heroes of different Earths are going to be, I don't know, just outstanding stories to tell. We have a noir universe that's kind of dark and twisted. Anyway, there's more things to talk about, and we'll continue to talk about it in the next chapter. And so we close this in my robotic brother's voice. Goodbye. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. Hit the hit the bell icon and just subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe.
Please subscribe. And hit the thumbs up button, please. It would really show support. Have a good day.
Bye.